There is no future for people who deny their past. My foreparents, my grandparents.
Welcome to the Final Boss Podcast, your ultimate destination for urban culture, community vibes, and live conversations with the movers and shakers of the streets. Join us as we explore the rhythm of one beat at a time. Let's get the show started. Turn up the volume, sit back and relax, and welcome to the Final Boss Podcast, hosted by Turbo the CEO, and follow us on all social media platforms.
You're listening to the Final Boss Podcast.
Welcome to special Thursday edition of the Final Boss Podcast. Tonight, let me tell you, man, tonight, we have a very special and important guest. I'm not going to introduce him yet. But I must give you this information, man, before we get into it. And then I'm going to roll into everything. But as always, thank you guys for waiting. Thanks for the messages. Thanks for the calls. Hey, where's the show? Listen, there's summer thunderstorms rolling through right now, power outages, the works, technical difficulties, you name it, it's happening. But to this gentleman's a testament to his leadership skills. The mission must continue. And tonight's mission will continue. Along with that, his leadership skills helped me get through the process by reminding me as soldiers that we must adapt, adjust, and overcome. That's one of the main facets of being a soldier, how to deal with difficulty. But it's also one of the pillars that I'm constantly speaking about on my Motivation Mondays, which is resilience, the ability to bounce back. And man, we got a great show for you tonight. Let's give it up for our guest. I'm not going to introduce him yet, man. I got a great introduction for him. But listen, we get ready to get into it. But we're going to go ahead and look. Thank you guys. Please continue to send us emails, DMs, all the information that you can in reference to the show and your support. Thank you. We greatly appreciate you. And as per always, the greeting of the day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to everyone across the world who's tuning in right now to the #1 podcast, man. Listen, why else do it? If you don't want to be #1? We're going to be #1, baby. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is how we get it done. Already know that you are what you say you are and that you will be what you want to be. I statements. These positive actions give the universe energy, right? And it backs you, man. It backs you. I'm telling you, it works. But look, man, we got a great show. Oh, man, I'm so excited. Tonight's show, we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics. And the name of tonight's show, which is so blessed, man. So blessed to be here. We are at episode number 97. Be a villain to a bad guy. Now, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how we're deconstructing and reconstructing. Listen, just hold on. Get your smarts, fighter bosses, get your pens and papers out, because tonight is going to be a masterclass. It's going to be a masterclass on the topics that we're going to be talking about. Whew, man, that was a lot. And that was rough. That was rough. I'm glad we was able to push through resilience and get it done. So, man, oh boy. Get ready, everyone. Get ready. And for those who are just tuning in, you know, I like to start the night with our brass tacks. Our brass tacks is a quote of what's going to lead into tonight's conversation, and it embodies the entire conversation that we will be having. And tonight's brass tacks comes from General George S. Patton. Again, that's General George S. Patton. And here's tonight's brass tacks. Battle is the most magnificent competition in which a human being can indulge. It brings out all that is best. It removes all that is at its base. All men are afraid in battle. The coward is the one who lets his fear overcome his sense of duty, and duty is the essence. Duty is the essence of manhood. And that's our brass tacks tonight. That's our brass tacks for tonight. And it's coming from General George S. Patton. Now, let's get into this extraordinary individual who's a father, a brother, a son, a friend, a mentor to many. What we have in front of us is none other than the I'm not giving it to you yet. I'm not giving it to you yet. No. I got more to say. I have more to say, right? We are blessed and profoundly give me a second. Profoundly honored to welcome a true American hero, a decorated warrior, a man whose life embodies strength. Yes. Strength, service, and unwavering integrity. There's not many men on this planet that I look to or have called a mentor. This gentleman in front of us is a mentor to me. He's helped me in several difficult situations, including saving my life. But we're going to talk about that right there. We're going to talk about that too. We, you know, as conversation goes and we're candidly speaking, we're going to talk about that. Tonight we have the United States Army Colonel Malik Freeman. Let's give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the long introduction, but it was necessary, and he's necessary. Wow. Man, let's give him a hand. All right, Colonel, I know, man, listen, you've seen a lot of things. You've accomplished many things. You've faced things that many couldn't even imagine, right? And you've triumphed. Yeah. So we're very excited to have you on our show. We're going to dive deep, right, into what has you. We're here to pull back the curtain and explore his profound insights on leadership, self-discipline, building meaningful connections, and the nature of courage, and the very nature of what it means to be a man. We're going to be unpacking powerful meanings behind several phrases throughout the night, including the main phrase of the night, which is be a villain to a bad guy. It can't be said enough. It cannot be said enough that this information that we're going to be providing for you tonight would never be enough. But we're going to get you at a starting point that you would never forget. Never forget. This is where we get down to the point what does the word manhood truly signify? In this day and age, especially, the world is changing, constantly changing, and it's going to continue to do that, right? It's going to continue to do that. Let that idea sink in, because the world today is not the world tomorrow. It's constantly changing. Constantly changing. We're going to talk about the attributes of manhood, key components, what's at its core. What is at its core? So, sir, man, I hope you enjoyed that introduction.
When I tell you, Brother Turbo, you putting those words into me at the time when I needed it the most. Because what we've done through these years has been brothers. And like you said, you say I saved your life, but you don't realize you saved my life.
Oh, man.
And a lot of people only see the end results, but they don't know what happens, what goes on inside a man when he's faced with adversity, internal adversity,
right,
flaws, errors. These last 2 years, brother, when I tell you, everything I learned in the military, growing up in Buffalo, New York, in one of the poorest cities in America, going to college, obtaining master's degrees, becoming a father of 4, raising children, mentoring. You don't know what you're made of until you go through a struggle. Military. It's easy when everything's going great and everybody's smiling at you.
The comfort.
And, you know, everybody's laughing at your jokes. People call you. But when you're going through it and you in the bottom of the pit and you in the wilderness, that's when you know what you made of and you know who really cares.
Right.
So that introduction you provided me, and I'm sitting here thinking about all the things that we did through the years, and we always came back to each other. And we had this synergy and energy that nobody can understand. And you sitting there pouring into me at a time where I'm going through some of the most turmoil and strife I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
So based on some personal decisions I made that was totally against my character. And when you go through that, you're talking about having to recover and be a man and have to look yourself in the mirror and say, we got to get this together and what happened and where you're going. But you coming back and your friends and people that love you remind you that who you are, because you forgot who you were. Those are friends, and that's what it's all about. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Because you called me and reached out to me at a time where I was almost at my lowest. And when you reached out to me and said you wanted me to come to your show, it brought me back and it reminded me of what we've been through, who we are. And I'm saying we, because everybody wants to put up an individual. But all of us through this journey called life have encountered people that show up at the right time, the right place.
Correct.
And they push you through this journey, because all this is a journey. We're passing through here.
Oh, man, I say it all the time, man. We're on this journey together. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, you know, this opportunity to share some experiences that I can't say it's me. I'm saying that that's been poured into me from a blue collar city with people like my mother, Linda Freeman, who took me to night class with her to get her master's degree when she worked for the state of New York. My father, who worked in a tire plant. didn't make that much money, but worked hard as he could to put kids through college. My aunt, who was a waitress, who would give me some of her tip money to help me get through.
Man.
See, people are always caught up in rich, wealthy folks that come from these nice neighborhoods and areas. But I come from, I said, one of the poorest cities in America. But we was rich in pride and discipline and structure.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
You say, how does this boy, young man, come from the third poorest city in America, from one of the poorest neighborhoods in America, and rise all the way to the rank of colonel, and also have a federal law enforcement career and become a federal manager in a law enforcement career, obtain 2 master's degrees, have a wife and 4 children, only by the grace of God and by having friends and people that showed up at the right time and the right opportunities. And they didn't all look like me and you. We get caught up in, it's people that look, I had a white woman from Boston who said, I'm gonna give this young 25-year-old intern an opportunity. And Mary Ann Taylor, who still's my mentor to this day, gave me an opportunity to start my federal career. So we're gonna get into it, man. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. But thank you for this opportunity.
Man, let's go time, man. It's go time. Let's
go.
Oh, you are welcome, sir. Hey, thank you so much for that. Let's give him another hand, man, because that was an incredible story. But wait a minute. Whew. Man, let me tell you, this technology right now is crazy. I thought I almost went out, but I'm still here. His story is so significant, and not many, through his own resilience and the power in his network, he was able to push through. That right there is powerful. So thank you for sharing. And my first question to you, sir. Let's go. What does manhood truly mean to you in today's world?
Manhood is under attack. We talked about this through the years, and we had we talked about it. I don't know what's happening in society, but especially black manhood. But it's not just black man, but manhood period seems to be under attack.
Period.
Period. And what I mean by that, remember we talked about when we were growing up, we had uncles, fathers, they wore hats, they smoked cigarettes, they dressed in suits, they drove Cadillacs, they went to church, they raised their families, they wasn't perfect, they drank alcohol, they played cards, but they went to work and they hustled. They figured, and hustling didn't mean illegal, but they did whatever means necessary to take care of their families. And they didn't have always the top education. They didn't always have the top opportunities, but people ate. My mother told me about her father who worked in a steel plant in Buffalo, New York. He came from southern, Alabama, up north, caught the cheapest train ticket to Buffalo to work in the Bethlehem steel. And she said that in the wintertime, they would put a brick and warm it up. And that's how the room would stay warm, because it was so cold in Buffalo in the winters. But that man didn't have a car. Wow. He would get up and go to work at that plant so that his young children could grow up and have success. So I translate that into my father working in a tire plant. And he would do paper routes in the morning to make extra money, because he had his children. And when I would get low on money, he would send me a check and say, this is to help you get through school down there. And, I look back, manhood is, I'm going to work spiritually, physically, emotionally to take care of my family, my children. So you can't put it in one word, but love is an action. And it's an action, meaning providing, taking care of, teaching, preaching, and providing. That's what manhood is about. So I can't put it in one word. But I tell you, you have to be blood, sweat, and tears to be a man in this society.
Oh, man.
So we're going to keep getting that.
Listen, you know, the information, man, that just resonated with me so much, man. I remember seeing my uncles, my grandfather, man. My grandfather was a pillar in my family, man. This guy, let me tell you about my grandfather. He was a head deacon at the church. He was a mechanic. He was a carpenter. He was a plumber. He was a painter. He was a gardener. This dude, and he didn't have a whole bunch of education, but he knew everything. And I used to say, I'm like, man, how did he do that? And I used to be in such awe, man, because he didn't speak a lot, and you better not speak unless spoken to. I mean, it was a rule, you know what I mean? And at those times, you knew what a man, you could look and say, hey, that's a man right there. That's a real man who's doing what he needs to do to take care of his family. You could just see it, and it was something that you knew. So yeah, man, I identified with that 1,000%, 1,000%.
Yeah.
In your own opinion. All right. Thank you for sharing that. But let's dig a little deeper, right? Let's dig a little deeper about what it means to be a man.
Well,
in your opinion, and this is in your opinion, yes. What does
these last couple of years?
Yeah.
If you haven't failed and made a mistake, and actually been in some low points, it's when you are able to fight your way out, come back, remember who you are. See,
Resilience.
Like I said, it's easy. It's easy when everything is going the way you want it to go. You got the education, you got the job, you got the relationship, the kids, you have the car, you got the image, you got the vacations, you got the Facebook posts, right? Everybody see, oh man, Colonel Freeman, federal agent. He's a federal agent. He's a colonel. He has a wife. He has kids. He has everything. I had somebody tell me, man, you always smiling. You got everything going your way.
Right.
But they don't understand when you under attack internally.
Always under attack.
Spiritually.
Yes.
When you under attack. Hey, when you have much and you go through that period of Job in the Bible, when listen, when I tell you, you go through the period of Job is when you're going to really know what you mean. When I say that, when you go through a low point, when you don't meet the expectations of everybody or yourself, and you're at a point where nobody's calling you anymore, where your money, hey, brother, when I tell you the last year or two, okay, hey, I had to call the Veterans Affairs because I might have been out on the street.
Wow.
Because of some decisions I made.
Wow.
Because of some decisions I made. But I had people that said, hey, no, we're going to help you. I wasn't answering the phone, talking to my friends or anybody because of the decision I made, because of shame, and because I felt ashamed of a decision I made.
Right.
But I had to recover. People still said, hey, man, I still love you.
Yeah.
You can make it. You're going to be okay. Because the image that I portrayed for all those years, when I wasn't able to meet that expectation because of a decision I made, I had to go back and get myself back together. So that's what a man does. I'm back.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm back, baby.
Listen, he's back. He's back. Yes, sir. Woo. Let me tell you.
And when you called me the other day, that was listen, I've been back for the last couple, but maybe a week after Father's Day.
Right.
So when you called me and said, hey, man, I want you to come on my show, I'm like, oh, my God, this timing is perfect because I just got back after a journey in the wilderness.
Hey, man, God is always on time, man.
And when I tell you God gives you warning signs and God protects a fool and babies, When I tell you that,
let me
well,
tell
I'm
you.
here to be able to say I'm back because God said, I gave you all type of warnings. I gave you all type of warning signs. You ignored them. Now I'm going to force you to come back.
That's the man.
So that's where I'm going. You don't understand how powerful this moment is for me and my family, and for you to give me this platform to say, when all the folks out there, when you, like I said, when you're smiling, everything is going great. You have this image that you're upholding, but when you're going through internal turmoil, how do you recover from that? And you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, I got to do better.
Absolutely.
So that's, to me, that's manhood. You want to know manhood? That's manhood. But if you can't accept your shortcomings and what you did not do and did do and the decisions you made and didn't make,
right,
then it's boyhood.
Man.
And unfortunately in society, nobody wants to take accountability for what they did. They want to blame their mama, their daddy. I didn't come from a good neighborhood. It's because of the way I look. It's because of my height. You know, it's because of society, the government. It's because of I'm not in the political party. No, it's you.
Right.
You make the decision of what you're going to do and not do and how you're going to react and not react. Are you going to fight your way out of it? Or are you going to sit there and cry and blame everybody else? Because 90% of the decisions, the things that happen to us, it wasn't the devil's fault. It wasn't society's fault. It was your fault because you had the decision to either do it or don't do it. And if you made the decision, you have to live with, how am I going to come out of this? Correct. And learn from the decision and not make the same mistakes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You dropped a lot of gems in that statement. A lot of gems. Accountability. And with accountability comes power. And with great power, as one of my favorite quotes from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And you as a leader recognize that. And through your own self-discipline, you found a way back. You found a way back to the bedrock of your success. And from this point forward, you're reshaping your future. Man.
And guess what, brother? My brother, let me share with you. Then I'm looking at my children. And somebody said this to me. They said, what example are you showing your daughters and your son? When you want to tell me you see the shirt, Dad?
I see it. I keep saying it's a statement, and you're making a statement right now.
Statement.
Because it is.
And Akiva Freeman, my wife of 25, going on 26 years, blessed me with the opportunity to be a father 4 times. When I tell you, brother, I never thought I would be a father, our husband. I was so focused on career, being a military officer, you know, coming to DC to take over the world. But I met a young lady in college who gave me an opportunity, and then gave me an opportunity to have life outside of a career, because I was so career focused. But these 4 blessings that I helped bring to this world. One is a young adult who has her career, her own apartment, and her own car. That means a lot for a 23 to 24-year-old.
Absolutely.
College graduate from George Mason. The second one is a junior at Howard University, computer science major. She was a hell of a tennis player in high school, but decided to pursue computer science more in college. And now is out in out in a big company, a tech company in California, doing an internship. Then I got one baby girl who's going to Morgan State University to study medical science and made the dance team the first time for Morgan State University.
Wow.
She's going to be at the halftime shows. There was only 4 slots, 40 people. She got one of them as a freshman.
Wow.
Then I got a baby boy who's going to a magnet school and studying artificial technology and environmental science, following his sister footsteps, who is Howard. You tell me, from a boy from the poorest city, one of the poorest cities in America, one of the poorest neighborhoods in America, who dreamed that I want to get out this neighborhood. I want to go to college. I want to be somebody. I want to join the military. I want to come to DC. I was talking about that back when I was 12, 13 years old, and I'm about to be 51. And to see the fruits of the labor, that right there is what this is all about, this journey called life, because, you know, we only here for a little bit of time. And what we leave behind and mentoring, as you said, I poured into people, but people poured into me. All I was doing was giving back what was given to me, because I couldn't have done this by myself. So if we don't remember selfless service and giving back, then everybody is caught up in this big house and car and, you know, but who are you helping behind you to make sure that's going to keep this thing going 20, 30, 40 years from now? If God took me tomorrow, I could say, you know what? I did something good in this planet when I was here.
Legacy. Yes, sir. Man. You know what? Shout out to your 4 beautiful children, man, who are doing great things, who embody the future of America.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you, I'm so proud of them too, because when their daddy was out in the wilderness, when they bonded together and I watched them come together and back and take care of each other, and they mother and the way they made sure that they kept the mission going, I'm sitting back there smiling and crying like, that's what I'm talking about. See, something everybody don't understand is my father died at 50 years and 4 months old.
Okay.
He died at his kitchen table because he took too much medicine, because he used to have a drug problem when he was a young man.
Gotcha.
And unfortunately, he worked in the steel plants, and then he also had a life where he was involved in some activity that I never knew about until I was a grown man. He always told me it was cool to be a square. But he fought through his addictions, his demons, alcohol, women, drugs, and went to work every day. 2 jobs.
Every day. Yeah.
And he never made any excuses. He died at 50 years and 4 months old at his kitchen table because he took too much pain medicine, because he blocked glass from coming on my sister when he got in a car accident. So he was sick. So when I looked up, and I'm 50 years and about to be 51, and when I went through my journey and I said, God kept me here to see, prayerfully, 51 in a couple of weeks.
Right.
My children, I'm like, you guys don't understand. In my mind, I lost my father when I was 25 years old. And I'm thinking, hey, I want to stay here long past that. But I want to make sure that they know that, hey, y'all can do what y'all need to do to take care of each other, because nobody's guaranteed. And you know, us being military professionals, hey, getting back from a mission, that's another life.
Yeah.
So the mission is not just when we go overseas. The mission is going on every day. When you get up every morning, there's no guarantee you're going to come back. We get this assumption that, oh, we're going to make it to 85 years old.
Man, I'm glad you said that.
Some of our
yeah. So I'm so glad you said that. You just mentioned a great statement about every time you open your eyes, the mission begins. Listen, final bosses, listen, smarts. There's no truer statement. Every time you open your eyes, the mission begins. Every time you open your eyes, the mission begins. When your eyes open and you are present, it's called present for a reason. It's a gift. Listen to what I just said. It's called present, as in present day, or you are present. It's called present for a reason, because it's a gift. It's a gift to open your eyes, because when you're open your eyes, so many haven't or can't. You don't understand what it takes for you to still be here right now in the present. You don't know what it takes. I say it all the time, man. I'm talking about it on my Motivation Mondays. Trillions of computations and trillions of calculations for you to be here in the present. And look around the world. If you're not gathering empathy for what's happening around the world, and you feel like because it's not happening to you, you're not concerned, let me tell you, you are in for a world of a storm, and it's coming, and it's coming for you. It's coming. I'm trying to tell you. You think you're going through some difficulties right now? You better gain some empathy in your heart because the storm is coming. And I always say, man, you either going into the storm, you're in a storm, or you're coming out of the storm. But get your hearts right. Get your hearts right because the storm is coming. But look, let's pivot for a quick second, right? Because you also mentioned in that statement of yours about the mission and continuing and the difficulties of the mission, whether it's in the combat, which we've both shared several missions and that we had in combat, or the mission of life itself. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this is something personal that I have to share because this gentleman saved my life. I was having at work, I was having some difficulties, pain difficulties, and I was assistant colonel, and anytime he had issues with IT, I'd just tell him, hey man, come see me. Yes. So it was one of those moments. He said, hey, I'm in the building. I need you. I got some IT issues. Sir, say less. I got you. I'm in pain, right? I'm in tremendous pain. But I told him I got him. And I'm still running my shop. I was a branch chief. And I'm on the phone. By the time he comes down to see, I was in so much pain, I had to call the medical nurse at the hospital to see what I need to do because I'm in tremendous pain. I could barely, let me paint a picture. I could barely stand up, right? My face is full of grimace, and I'm directing my staff. Like I'm surrounded by people who are looking for me to lead, and I'm instructing and giving orders and telling my people where to go and give it. And I'm surrounded by customers. I'm surrounded by people. It's like 20 people right now I'm surrounded by, and I'm on the phone taking care of those people, but also I'm on the phone with the medical attendant who's trying to do an assessment of what's going on with me because I don't know what's going on, but I know I'm in a lot of pain. So he walks through the door of my office. He looks at me, and the synergy that we have, let me tell you, he didn't ask any questions. He said, let's go.
Let's go.
He said, let's go. And he knew. He said, brother, you're not looking well. Let's go. And I looked at him and I said, sir, I got the hospital on the line right now. He said, let's go. Man, he took me to the hospital, dropped me off.
I said, hey, brother. That day, I said, I don't care what you got going on. I said, I know you're a strong, tough brother, but you got to go right now. Yeah. And you kept fighting and said, no, I got my mission. I said, that mission gonna have to wait. And I said, I'm about to pull this car up by the door, the closest door to you. Mm-hmm. And we got you in that car, and we got you to that hospital.
Well, man.
And I knew, because we, like you said, we know each other. And remember, I don't work there every day, but I knew something was wrong. And I had to give you that look in the firms because you was fighting the league. And I said, no, we gone. And we got you to that hospital. And thank God.
Thank God. Yes. Thank God is correct, because as soon as I got to the hospital through the emergency room, they did emergency surgery. I had to have emergency surgery. And man, thank you so much, because who knew what the outcome would have been if you didn't come through. So, man, I that's a moment in my life that I would never.
It wasn't me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
talk
as we
yourself,
talked
man.
about earlier,
Yep.
destiny sometimes from the spiritual realm in the universe, sometimes we put in a place, in a location to do what was meant to be done that day. Because I don't work there every day. I'm a part-time soldier at the time. I just happened to come in that day because I was just in the area. So that was divine intervention. And when I looked at you, and you mentioned to me that several other people didn't say a word to you, and they saw that you wasn't doing well.
Right.
And I said, we ain't gonna work. You said, I'm not harping on it, but I said, but it wasn't meant for them. The person that was meant to come to do it, just like you now rescuing me. When you called me a couple of days ago, you brought life back into me. So what we do is we pay it forward. And that happened. How many years ago was that? It had to be.
Man, at least 10 years.
So 10 years later, you call me when I'm coming through my comeback after my year or two of being in the wilderness and say, brother, I want you on my show. And what that brought to me was such joy. And it reminded me of who I am and what I'm about. Because I forgot. But I'm back. So now what we doing, you paid it back to me 10 years later. And you didn't even know it. And do you know how many times you would reach out to me through the years when I needed you? That one time you called me and said, I don't know what's going on, but something told me to call and check on you. You don't remember that about a year or so ago?
I remember. Yeah, man. I remember. Yeah.
So that when you got a brother like that in this world, that's something special. I mean, not only did we had a share for military missions, and we have a share for going to the firearm range, which we still got to go do. We've been talking about that for a long time.
Already, right.
But we had those things in common, and we had in common about taking care of our families. You showed up at my daughter's art and soul event and fundraising and bought some of her art. See, that was support. My daughter she's a young artist. You bought her art, which helped her be able to pay her rent. Wow. Then you see, she said, Daddy, you got some really good friends. I said, yeah, my daughter needed rent paid. That was a rent party. I don't know, some of y'all might not know. That's an old school term they used to do. They used to rent parties. Right. I didn't know that was a rent party.
Wow.
But it's about giving and taking. So if anything in this podcast that we want to send out to your audience, because I know they're like, man, y'all all over the place. But we said we're going to flow. We said we got a structure, but giving back and doing that act, which I did, and I would do it again. Look at how it reached, the benefits it reaped 10 years later in the times when I was at a point where you saved my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and my daughter, you helped my daughter pay her rent as a young starving college graduate.
Wow.
And you showed up and showed out. So that's what we do for each other. And that's what I think, if anybody out there listening, show up and show out for others. Call and check on people that's been in your life. I got people that's on this podcast I've been knowing since I was a college student. People I grew up in, saying, hey, I see you. Those people have been around so long, and we give each other joy and take care of each other, and they don't judge you. They love you regardless of your flaws, your mistakes, your attitudes, your shortcomings. That's what a true friend, brother, and sister does. They love you regardless. Not just when you're winning and the money's going good and the cars and you got the big parties and it's when you literally say, hey, I need $50 for gas money. Can you help me? Who can you call to do that? When your car gets towed or you don't have no food in your refrigerator, but people think you got it like that. Who can you call?
Yeah.
When you lose your military career, because you remember remember, I left because I stood up on my principles.
Mm-hmm.
And I refused. I left on my terms.
Right.
But guess what? That was 35% of my income that disappeared. That affected my family.
Right.
It put me in it. It put me in a place where I didn't even know. I had to do Uber and Lyft to subsidize my income as a colonel. I went from a colonel to a cab driver.
Wow. Wow, man.
And I'm not ashamed that I did Uber and Lyft. I'll do it again sometime. Matter of fact, I did it today.
Absolutely. Doing what you have to do, man.
From a cab driver. So that's what manhood is about. A colonel, which
Absolutely.
is one rank below general in the United States Army. Only 2% of military officers make colonel. Believe
Correct.
me. If it's 100 lieutenant colonels, only what? A couple gonna make colonel. And you saw me go through trial and tribulation. It ain't easy. They don't make it easy to get that rank. Right. You saw me come in there, and God, promotions come from God. Psalm 76, 75:6. Not from the east nor the west nor the south, but God put him up and he put him down, and God makes the final decision of who gets promoted. It's not man. It's God.
Absolutely.
So this whole discussion about manhood, it's about manhood is selfless service. It is like a military professional. You have to be loyal, selfless. You give up. You go to we have to train. Remember going to the gym. You remember I started gaining that weight? I was still rumbling around that track because I wasn't the 20-something-year-old college student. I'm in my late 40s, still trying to stay in shape. And it's not easy. And then you got people that you see get promoted that have less credentials than you. You see people that get promoted when they tell you you have to do this and do that. And you do it, and then they say, oh, no, we changed our mind. And you see somebody else that didn't have to go through that. And you say, you know what? I'm still going to get this damn promotion.
Correct.
You ain't going to stop me.
Fighting for it.
And, so, that's what manhood is about. Is this? Mike Tyson said it's best. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Punched in the face. Punched in the mouth.
When you get punched in the damn mouth, and they start something, and you take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you know you made
it. Look, I say all the time, man. In order to grow, you must be faced with challenges. The more difficult the challenge, the more and better the reward. We need challenges.
Yeah.
How else are you going to grow? In the beginning of the conversation, you had mentioned you were talking about how people are comfortable, and there's no growth in being comfortable.
Mm-mm.
You need the difficulties. You need the challenges. And listen, if you're comfortable too long and you settle in that comfort, a lot of times people, when the difficulties come, they don't know what to do. They've lost their way. But through you
remember all that
your
training
story, your leadership, I know resilience. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. The training we used to do.
I was going to say, as soldiers, we train years through school, tests, physical. Man, who used to want to do a physical fitness test? We all hate it.
Everybody. Right.
Every year, the Army, twice a year, they make you get out there and run them 2 miles, do them push-ups and sit-ups. And as reservists, remember, we was in the reserve component, so a lot of us go to our regular jobs, sitting at the desk, eating donuts and stuff. But the military didn't care. You came in there, you getting on that track and you doing that test. You have to take written tests. You have to go to school. You have to get the assignments. You have to do the missions.
True.
You was a military police officer.
Yep.
And an IT professional. I was, the military, when I look back, and that's why it was so important to me, because it provided me with structure. And it provided me with something. The one thing I can say about the United States military, as a black man or African American, whatever they call us, one thing about the military is if you the best, you the brightest, you the fastest, the strongest, you're going to get promoted at some point.
Yeah.
Just like shooting, right? When you aim at the target, if you do it the right way, you're going to hit the target. That's what I enjoyed about the military, was that that's one place. Like, it's parallel to sports. If I train hard, work hard. So military and sports go hand in hand. Just the military, we don't get to do instant replay. You have to get on point, and you have to get the mission done. There's no redo.
Absolutely.
There's no timeout. There's no penalty and flag. You better hit the target. You better hit it right. That's what I enjoyed about the military, which was masculine and which was about manhood. You put the work in, you do what it takes. You're going to, the army and the system eventually is going to get you where you need to go. It may not be easy. It may be detours, but you're going to get what you're going to go, because they're going to look at your record and your training and your experience and your scores. And if you have the highest and the fastest, at some point they couldn't deny you. And that's what happened. That colonel wasn't about just me. It was about, I want to send a message to all those soldiers that left, that I trained, and the people who poured into me who left.
Right.
And guess what? There's soldiers that's still there, that I still keep in touch with, that are now going through the ranks and getting promoted to colonel and lieutenant colonel. That's, to me now, that's what it's all about. When you leave a legacy, you leave something behind.
You know, when you were getting pinned from lieutenant colonel to colonel, and your ceremony was coming about, I dropped tooth and nail and said, I need to be at your promotion. It was so important for me to see you as a part of my tree of mentorship, to see you elevate to a level where many have not reached, where many can't reach. The full bird colonel, the eagle next to the star. You're soaring through the sky. The next level is the star. Man,
that's right.
And you know, we talk about race relations and color and this and that, but in our community, it's important. And listen, smarts, final bosses, what I'm about to say, please do not get offended. If you're not of the African or Black community, don't get offended what I'm about to say, because I want you to hear what I'm saying. It's important for us to see in our own eyes, like it's important for us to see Black heroes. It's important for us to see Black men rise above.
That's right.
In leadership and greatness. It's an effect that trickle down. And you can look, right? You can look across many ethnic groups and you could say what you would like to say about what leaders you look up to. Who's your superhero? Is it Superman? Is it the Black Panther? Is it, look, that's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. Man.
And with the military, with my ceremony, I had my battalion commander from Iraq, who flew from Florida and from Alabama, Lieutenant Colonel retired Brown, who was a gentleman of Irish American descent, who is my brother. And that's one thing about the military. When them bullets are flying and you in a war zone, we had people from Iowa, from North Dakota, from farms and the Midwest, from people from Alabama, Georgia. Nobody cared about that. We were brothers and sisters in war. We had women and men, and they were all colors, shades, and colors, complexions. You know, that's one thing we love about our military, is that when we get down, we get down. So you had a gentleman of Irish American descent who flew in from Florida, who was pinning me, and a sister, my big sister, who is Wendy Leland, who's from Malvern, Pennsylvania, which is one of the wealthy suburbs of Philly. who was of also Scot-Irish descent, who was on the other side of me. And I told you, Mary Ann Taylor, who was from Boston, who was from Irish descent, who was my mentor.
Exactly.
A boy, a young man from Buffalo, New York. So me, from my journey, people from all, hey, it was about, are you a good person? And are you going to, and they sang something to me and they poured into me. They didn't care that my name Malik, I'm bald head, I'm 5'8", and I'm from Buffalo, New York. They saw that this young man with his family is serving his country and serving his family, and he wants it. He's hungry. So that's what this is all about. So you said it's not about, but when only 8% of officers look like us, and then colonel, it's probably a point percent that make
margin
it.
shrinks. Yeah,
absolutely. That margin shrinks, and I don't care what you look like. It's only 2% getting there. So you're talking about even a shorter. So yes, when I had those young lieutenants come up to me with their bright eyes, they're like, and those soldiers say, "You a colonel?" Yeah. And I remember being a young lieutenant and seeing those colonels, and to make it to that was nothing but God and people that poured into me. Like I said, my aunt, who was a waitress, who would send me her tips when I was in college. God rest her soul. She wasn't rich. She didn't have no college education. She had 4 children. They called her in the 80s. They would say she was poor. That's what they would say. Yeah. But she was strong and rich because she knew her nephew. She said, "Nephew, you're going to do something in this life." Michelle Mack. Yeah. Bertha Mack, my grandmother, who came from rural Alabama, who took care of her children, who never had a college education, but worked and had more money than I ever seen anybody have, and didn't have no credit cards. That was resilience.
I could believe, man. Yeah.
So those people poured into me. Yeah. And it wasn't nobody with PhDs and doctorate degrees and come from wealthy areas of the suburbs. I'll tell people I came from one of the poorest areas in the United States, one of the poorest neighborhoods. But we were rich and wealthy in strength, pride. They poured in me God, religion, pride. And they said, "You do the best you can do." My uncle, Vernon Mack, who was he was actually, unfortunately, a pimp. He told me, "You can do anything you want, Leak." He would walk. He said, "I don't care what society tells you. We come from the poorest neighborhood in America. The first housing projects that were built for African Americans in Buffalo, New York in the 1930s. And out of my family, we got attorneys, business owners, magazine owners, nurses, professionals that came out of that little neighborhood. You tell me that ain't resilience. Absolutely. You tell me when my grandfather worked in that steel plant in Buffalo in the 50s, he was making sure his children had food. He said we didn't have a lot of food, but we had enough. My mother said they ate popcorn because sometimes that's all they had to eat. Yeah. But my mother got her master's degree from one of the top colleges in Buffalo, New York. She would take me to class and I would sit outside as an 8-year-old because she was getting her degree. That's what resilience is. Yeah. So with all those people out there, I know we keep talking the theme. The theme is hope, that manhood is back. Manhood and leadership go hand in hand. All statistical information show when men are men, communities are stronger, crime is lower, grades are higher, teenage pregnancy is lower, kids do well and successful when men are involved, because women don't want to be men. When we're forcing women to be men, that's not going to work.
That's not the natural balance.
When women are trying to raise boys that don't understand what it means to be a man, I'm not knocking single mothers. My mother had to raise me by herself when my dad got divorced. But I'm saying a man, a father, a husband, a brother, stepfather's important. Uncles are important. Mentors are important. Manhood makes a difference, and we're bringing it back. It's coming back.
It's coming back, baby. Yes, sir. And you know, you're not going to believe this. We are at the climax. Well, we're at the end of the show. That was incredible. That was incredible. You know, there was a couple of statements you made. I was like, man, you know, I have so many different mentors. Family is so important to me, man. My Shiro, my mom, one, and my aunt, who also reached the level of colonel and now is a doctor. I call her Dr. Colonel. She played a huge role in my life, man. We were thick as thieves. You know, we've always been thick as thieves, man. And shout out to her. Shout out to you. And listen.
Tell her what. Hey, she was one of my mentors. Yeah. I love watching her. One of the baddest Army logistics officers ever to hit the planet. I used to take notes from her.
Man.
And your auntie was the beast and still is.
Yeah, still is, man. She still trucking away.
Anyway, but she about 5'1", 5'2", and you talking about a lot of power and strength. Boy. And when she walk in the room, you would think she was Michael Jordan height. And everybody shut up when she came in the room.
Everybody shut up. and you know it's crazy. I didn't understand when I was younger. And I used to, you know, I spent a lot of time when I would be in her office and you know, I watch and I didn't understand. You know, I was at a young age, I didn't understand. But man, as I grew older, I was like, whoa, she's a big deal, man. Yeah. Like people, like for real, man. I used to see that, and that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Dr. Colonel,
Brother
man.
Turbo,
Love you.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to come. I'm back. I'd love to come back in the future.
Oh man, I'm definitely gonna have you back. Absolutely, man.
I know I didn't get to hit all the topics and all the things I wanted to say, but we said we were gonna flow. We said we were gonna flow, and you know, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
I hope it hit home to folks. The theme is hope, pride, strength, give back. That's it. We keep it moving forward. Positivity, solutions. We're not talking about the problem.
And building solutions. Yep. And you know, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. That is our show for tonight. Thank you. Episode number 97. Look, smarts, final bosses, and everyone who's tuning in or has tuned in, wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in. Please send us your feedback. You can email us at info@thefinalbosspodcast. One word, info@thefinalbosspodcast. One word. Check that out. Send us emails and feedback. Also, if you haven't got any merch, man, go get some merch. Go get some merch from the merch site. The merch address is www.thefinalbosspodcast.com. Grab you some merch. The merch is incredible. Go grab you some merch. Also, coming up, episode number 98. As we close in onto the end of season 2, man, shout out to, man, look, you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to do this right here. I know we're running out of time. All the flags are being thrown on a play because guess what? We're almost at the end of season 2. Man, 100th episode is coming. I can't believe it. And my boy, listen, for episode number 100, I'm going to tell you a little about this individual. He's a fashion designer. He's a custom fashion designer who designs suits, clothes, shoes, man, you name it, for a lot of the big known comedians that you see today. I'm not going to drop their names. I'm going to allow him to drop their names. But if you know a comedian who's high level and he's doing movies, they are doing movies, they're doing their comedic shows, they have podcasts. He's behind their custom outfits, their suits, their whatever, man. He's that guy. His name is Hector Williams. Shout out to Hector. And he's going to be on the show for our 100th episode. And he's going to close out the season. Then we're going to take a little break before season 3 begins. But you can continue to catch us on Mondays at 9 p.m. for Motivation Mondays. Motivation Mondays It's a new platform that just started. Tech Tuesdays will be included into going into the next season of season 3, but Motivation Mondays is something that's going to roll over and continue until season 3 begins. So you can still catch us on Mondays for Motivation Mondays, but the other 3 shows, which include Tech Tuesdays, Special Guest Thursdays, and Sitting Down with the Final Boss on Sundays, those shows are going to be on hiatus for about 2 or 3 weeks as we build the platform for something bigger, greater for season 3. Listen, season 3 is going to be incredible. I'm so excited, so blessed, man. Things are moving, and I can't say anything else. But look, shout out to the Colonel Malik Freeman. Put a D in front of his name. Yes. And that's our show for tonight. So I need you guys, per always, be balanced, be equal, and be smart. That's our show. Thank you for tuning in. Love you guys. Please continue to have an amazing week. Stay cool where you can. And man, this conversation is to be continued because the Colonel is coming back, baby. The Colonel on his get back is coming back. I like that. Wait a minute. Hold up. I might have to listen. The Colonel who is on his get back is coming back. So
that's right.
Yeah, man.
That's right. It's a big comeback. Yeah.
It's a big comeback. So stay tuned for what he
don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man. And that right there is boom. That's the show, man. Love you guys, man. We had a great time. Y'all, I see you on Sunday. I'll see you guys on Sunday. And for episode number 99. Sitting Down with the Final Boss. Episode number 99. See you then.